So we didn't touch about this, but it was a big thing that's going on by me now, which is the next step in innovation is AI, right? So we know that if we don't innovate, we're dead in the water again, because AI is integrating with that whole voice technology, with your business, with the how you present to the world. So we're working feverishly on developing AI agents, like an AI receptionist, to be able to handle your call, to schedule your calls. I think everybody's first reaction is like, I don't deal with a robot. Hi, I'm Julie.
And I'm Raisy.
Welcome to our podcast, Money and Meaning, where we talk about success that matters. Here we are with our latest guest, Rebecca Lemmer from CompuVoip. Rifki has built up an incredible company, and we can't wait to hear from you. So hello. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So tell our audience a little bit about you, your husband, your company, how you started.
Okay. So to begin with CompuVoip, I'm going to tell you, VoIP is voice over IP, because as much as I think everybody knows what VoIP is, I have learned that not everybody does.
Okay.
So voice over IP is phone technology over internet. And that is where our focus is, and that's where we've grown. That's where we have evolved to. We've been in business 39 years.
Wow. So there wasn't VoIP when you started?
It was not VoIP when we started.
Right.
It was a traditional phone company. Even phone systems back then went from wires that were this big to wires that were this big. So we've definitely seen a huge amount of transition in the field.
Wow.
And then don't forget, fax machines were not around in the 80s. Voicemail was not around. Voicemail was a huge thing for us. We were scared of it in the beginning. And when people called and they wanted voicemail, hello, you've reached whatever, they'll one for this, they'll two for that. We're like, do you really want voicemail? Don't you want that personal touch when people call your business?
Fast forward to now.
And fast forward to now. Now we have AI agents that we're selling.
Right.
But we learned very quickly that it's either you go with it or you...
Innovation is the name of the game.
Exactly.
Wow.
And we learned very quickly. We have a programmer. We set him to the task. He learned everything. And then we started selling it aggressively. And that was just so... And that brought us to actually acquiring two companies which couldn't go the next route. Like they literally could not go the voicemail route. At that point, when it became to being, it was like a whole computer, it was a whole setup. It was really a new technology that you have to learn. And if you didn't evolve and learn it, you were dead in the water.
So interesting.
So that was one.
I feel like that's what differentiates you, is that you've been able to innovate consistently throughout, and that's why you're still here.
We really were.
Wow.
And that was just one aspect. So voicemail, I think, was in the 90s. Then came the next big thing was voice over IP. That was like 2008, 2009, when internet became stable. Voice started being delivered over internet, which made it a lot cheaper, which made it a lot, people wanted it. And again, we spoke to Toshiba, that was our primary vendor for the the premise-based equipment before voice over IP came about. And we told them, this is where the market is going. You can either develop IP phones that we can sell, because we were very loyal to them. They were an amazing company. We loved them. We had great sales trips that they sent us to, like Alaska and South Africa.
Wow.
It was amazing. I miss those days, but they're gone.
Wow.
Toshiba died. Toshiba's telecom division died it was March, 8 years ago or 9 years ago.
Wow.
And not just Toshiba. Samsung's phone systems died. Panasonic died. NEC, I think, is still around. But that whole industry died, because if you didn't innovate and go with IP, you're gone.
You're gone, right.
Yeah.
So take us back a little bit. We're going to go back to your education, your background. Like, how'd you get into this?
I got married.
That's the way.
So actually, I went to Yaakov,
Right.
and then I took a programming course. Back then it was COBOL and DBase, Foxborough.
Wow,
I took that.
That's a long time ago.
That's a long time ago. And actually used that to develop a database system for my business that we used for a lot of years. And my field of programming actually came into use when I came into the business because the phone systems also need programming. You know, which phone should ring, where the light should show up, what, you know.
You also have
day mode, yeah.
systems thinking is the way that you think because you have that background in computer science.
I guess so. I guess that logical flow is
Yeah.
the systems thinking. So
So right now, so who are your clients? What kind of companies do you service mainly?
So because it's phone systems, I service everybody.
Okay.
And I know they say that you have to niche it so that you can grow, and as many times I think about it, it's like, how can I niche it down? It's like everybody from the grocery store to the garment stores to the schools to the nursing homes to the everybody needs phones. My ideal customer is, we do a lot of schools. Can I say it's not my ideal? But
But the bottom line, you do commercial. That's really what you do.
Yes, it's definitely business to business. We do not do residential.
Right. Okay.
Yes, it's
That
business
we
to
know.
business. Yeah.
Well, okay. So you started off mom and pop, okay, and you grew and you evolved over the years. You built systems and processes. You grew. Now you have 19 employees, right?
Yes.
20, okay.
Yeah.
And you also acquired other businesses that are kind of like sister businesses. Is that what it is?
So we acquired other businesses because when they couldn't keep up with technology,
Okay.
we acquired them.
Okay. So other phone companies.
But then our sister businesses,
Yeah.
we have CompuCam, which does security and door access, and then we have CompuConnect, which is an MSP, an IT company. Those are my sons.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a real family business.
Yeah.
So it's technically under one umbrella, but it's not. You're not tied to me. If you want to use me for phones and use somebody else for cameras or vice versa, we give you that option. So there are some people who like everything,
Right.
one touch of a button, one contact, no problem, we'll service you. Some people have their person here and have their person there, and they just want you for one aspect, which is fine.
That's great.
Yeah, but
It's
we
so
do
nice
offer
that
that flag.
Yeah.
How do you find it working with family, with your husband, with your son? Like, does it ever get crazy?
That's a loaded question.
And my daughter works for me.
Oh wow!
My daughter is a rock star. I have to say,
wow.
Rachel, hello. She does onboarding for new clients. So she's the one that I interact with the most, literally on a daily basis.
Does she kind of take over your role? Because you had mentioned that you used to do the onboarding and training.
I used to do training, like programming and training. So once a system was done already, so I guess it was different back then when it was premise-based systems, which the older technology, it was really, you bought the system, you wanted 5 phones, fine, I'll deliver 5 phones. Then the programming and the training was done in-house. Okay. Now, because everything is IP, everything is done beforehand. So she does a whole onboarding call before we even deploy the phones to find out what's your business like. These are the features that are available. Do you want different day ringing, mode ringing, night ringing, different kind of routes, different, like all that stuff. So she presents the customer, not really she was amazing.
And then you implement it in-house?
And then we program it and implement it in-house, and then we send techs on site to actually install. But that's like, in a way, that's like the minimal part. Yeah, they'll do cabling if they need to do cabling because there's no cabling infrastructure. But the whole programming and the thought behind how the system works, that's done in-house.
Yeah. Amazing. So interesting.
What do you contribute? Like, if you could like numb it down to 2 or 3 things of like that, how your company became so successful and you built up so many, these businesses and under it. How do you contribute that? Like, what characteristics or skills do you think that you have implemented over the years, just continuously? Or
so I think, like you said, my system mind, strategic thinking, processes. I'm really big on process. Like everything, all the training that's done. Whenever a tech learns a feature, document it, put it into the system. I want everybody to be able to have access to it, so it's not only in your head. As we learn things, we have a huddle every morning with my techs. As you come up with problems and solutions, share it with the team.
Beautiful.
I think it's so important you can't be held hostage by any person in your business.
right. everybody should be replaceable in a way.
Yeah, and then not in a
Not
bad
that-
way,
not a bad
not
way,
in a
right,
bad way,
right.
but
It's
somebody get hit by a bus,
Right.
and,
There's tremendous
or-
risk in having
Right.
individual contributors have so much knowledge about your business
Yes.
in their own head.
I think it's called the golden handcuffs.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. So was there a time where you experienced, let's say, growing pains or your business struggled and like you saw just like Yad Hashem or like
All the time.
okay.
Well, not the struggle part. Well, the struggle, there was definitely a lot of struggles. Okay, so back, this is, I remember 1991 because my son was born. We went to the post office to get the mail so we can be able to deposit it to cover the bank. I was in labor.
Oh my God.
5 minutes apart. We had to stop off in the bank to make the deposit, and then
Oh my gosh.
he was born in triage.
Oh my God.
I'm glad you made it to the hospital.
Yeah.
I made it to the hospital. Yeah. So yeah, that's that's how it was for a long time.
Wow.
And there were times, like we discussed before, that my employees were getting more payroll than we did. Like there were
Right.
times we didn't take payroll. Baruch Hashem, things definitely have grown, especially when the market, when technology shifted to voice over IP, the whole model changed because it's a monthly recurring revenue. You're selling services, so that really changed
Wow.
a lot for us. Yeah. But to
Interesting.
say, like,
Do
to
you-
see Yad Hashem,
Yeah.
in hindsight, it's so much easier to see it. There was one huge client that we got. It was like we got him through a Toshiba referral, and they were building out a whole space, and we went above board, like everything. We did everything we could possibly do to make this guy happy. And he had a lot of problems. He had construction problems, and he had problems with Verizon. Verizon is not my thing. If you don't get your Verizon stuff, I can't help you. I can integrate your Verizon lines into a phone system, but if Verizon is not delivering, that's not my fault. After everything was said and done, he blamed us for his lines not working. He called my husband down for a meeting to resolve everything, to the monies and whatever. My husband called me from a payphone. This was back a while ago. To tell me, well, yeah, I just finished with the meeting, and we actually owe him $6,000. He wants us to pay him
If you're on a
$6,000.
payphone, $6,000 is a lot of money.
It was a very lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of money. Literally a half hour before, while he was in this meeting, somebody reached out to me. There was a lot. That for sale. It wasn't for sale. It was a piece of land across the street from us. We had sent him a letter probably a year before to say we looked up who owned the land. We sent a letter out. If you're interested in selling, we're across the street. A half hour before this payphone phone call, this guy called me while I was in the office to say, "I want to sell. Let's talk." This piece of property also ended up being, we developed it. We have 40, 50 apartments that is also now sustaining us. So it's like, this was like the darkest day of our business, and yet there was light literally at the same time.
Coming.
And you couldn't see it then, but in hindsight, there's so many of these episodes.
Right.
Wow. Yeah. You've shared with us a number of times how like you yourself personally has evolved in your role as a business owner and having a team. Do you have any specific areas that you feel like you've really had to work on yourself to be the business owner that you are today?
So I think it's everybody has to evolve, right? You can't stay static. And if I want to evolve on a personal level, it happens in the business as well. I always look at it that if something annoys me, it's a message to me. If someone's behavior is annoying to me, why? Why is that triggering me? What do I have to look at? Is it something in me? And if I come clean, I say, no, it's not me, it's something in them, then how do I learn to communicate properly? Communication is a big thing for me. Like it's also something that has evolved. But that's where my growth has been through the business. I think it's growing personally through what I encounter in the business, in managing a team, in showing up consistently. It's so easy to say, oh, today I'm not going to get on the huddle, you know, but then what stops A or B or C are not showing up? If you're not there, then you're allowing those excuses.
There's a saying that people wake up in the morning, they want to be led, not managed. So
okay, I like that.
Yeah, I think that it's that's huge when it comes to business. And I think many leaders, we've talked about this before, that many leaders, they do well in their job, and then they go to the next level. They become a manager or supervisor, open their own business because they did a skill that was, you know, in their job they did a great job at a certain skill. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a great leader or a great business owner or manager, right? Because they did their job well.
Right. It's like when you take a Kyle boy to teach, like, how does learning in Kyle, you need a job, how does that translate into being a good Rebbe?
Yeah, or you take a teacher and you make them a principal. It's
right.
It's
different skills, for sure.
Different skills, yeah. So how do you manage, like, I'm sure you've had, like you were telling us this crazy story about this guy that wanted 6. How do you manage the stress and, like, that comes along with owning a business and breathing? She breathes.
Breathe. Yeah, I talked to my daughter. She's a breathwork facilitator. Definitely breathing. Breathing is whatever. I mean, that's the first thing I do. Take a deep breath. And think what's triggering me here. What can I fix? How do I deal with the stress? I think bitachon is a big thing. I like in the last, Michael Safdie is my go-to guy. I like everybody. I think he's like 15 chats at 2,000 people each. And just listening to it consistently every day has really made inroads in my mind. It's such a game changer. So we had an issue with the tenant. So this is not VoIP related, but we have some real estate. We had an issue with the tenant probably 3-4 years ago. And if everybody knows, dealing with a tenant in New York City is the worst. And it was constantly going back and forth to court. And she said this and she said that. And we should do this and we should do that. And what's going to happen if this? We were like stressed out for a whole year during this process. We just had a similar incident now. And we're like, have a lawyer. He'll take care of it. Whatever happens, happens. And I've seen literally, it was just so smooth.
Liberating. It's liberating.
It is so liberating. It's in Hashem's hand. I'm doing what I can, but and ultimately it's in Hashem's hand.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I think you can't run a business without bitachon.
That's true. 100%. You work with a lot of people in your community, which is a blessing and can also be very challenging.
Okay.
How does that play out? I'm sure there are, especially when you're working with nonprofits, I think these things can get interesting. How do you manage that?
So,
how many schools? Just give us a number of how many schools you service.
Probably 50, 60 schools.
Oh, wow.
Across, we just turned up somebody in Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
I have to say that we went to, Aguda has an On Point Summit every year that has a vendor forum. I think that has been our most successful trade show.
Wow.
Yeah. They're really on target. They're on point. That's what they call themselves. They have the right decision makers for, if any of my competitors hear this, that has really been, we're turning up Yeshiva Flatbush, which is a huge account in Brooklyn, and there's Yeshiva in Baltimore. So that's our nonprofits. Is it more of a struggle than anything else? I think the same practices you put in play with
the same systems and
the
procedures.
Same system works. If you have good practices and good systems
and policies,
it flows through and policies.
Yeah.
So part of catering to a lot of schools and a lot of charities and nonprofits, because it's just organic. You go to shul, you go to the neighborhood, you go to a wedding, you just have that. Naturally, you have that Jewish base.
That network.
Is that network, right? So part of the challenge that we were talking about is because we have so many schools and charities, we get donation letters all the time. And we'd love to give, we want to give substantial because we appreciate their business. Ultimately, they're all businesses, and we appreciate that they trust us. But how can you do this when you have, 200, 300 charities and nonprofits? So our policy, we made it a policy that we always give. And we have a standard letter that says we'd love to give a lot more, but we, appreciate our donation for what it is.
Policy.
This is our policy. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Did you ever have someone that said, "I'll give you a job if the Meister goes to this and this, to our Mossad, or to like they kind of made a contingent on that, on a kickback or a charity?"
No.
No?
No.
Wow. Okay.
No.
Great.
Really not.
I've heard a lot of business owners have that, like different businesses who people will come to them and be like, "I'll give you the job. You're making, 50,000 on this job."
There's a referral fee. I mean, we're big on, appreciation and a referral fee. It's even our website, partner with us, because there's just so many people you can tap into. Right. And if somebody is a good source or somebody knows somebody, we'll show our appreciation.
You don't believe if someone's so super satisfied with your service, they're just become a raving fan of yours and refer you anyhow?
I'd love to think so, but money talks.
I hear you.
And we do. We really get, I would say that 85 to 90% of my business, my sales, are referrals.
Right.
Yeah.
Without
people who work without a referral fee.
Right. Okay.
People who worked somewhere, who opened up their own business, or they refer,
or a friend of a friend,
or a friend
network,
of a friend.
something.
Yeah.
Right. No, in my business, real estate, it's regulated, so you can't give a referral fee unless the person is licensed.
Oh, really? Okay.
And some people don't know it. They don't
Okay.
really know to research that, or they. Yeah, many industries, mortgage industry, insurance, you can't give a kickback or a referral to anybody.
Okay.
You have to be a licensed referral agent or a real estate agent. So I find that when someone comes to me and they ask for a kickback,
I know it's a sore point for you.
Yeah, it is a sore point because, I've gotten really good at telling them no and saying, people use me because I'm good. Okay. And I can't put my license on the line.
Right. Okay.
And I said, I'm more than happy to refer you. If you're good at what you do, I'll be happy to refer you back. That's how we should work. Use each other, support each other. Use each other because you're good. Don't turn it into, I need this from you and you need this from me. And
listen, in an ideal world, an ideal world, yes.
But I want to say that if you're getting so many referrals, it really is the ultimate compliment.
Yeah,
where people are so happy with your service, and it sounds like you have a really responsive, team who pick up the phone and deal with issues as they come up, which I think probably happens if people's phones are down. They need service right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think the tagline on my son's business, referrals are our best compliment.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, I had the story where I was just telling you about this. The guy asked me for a kickback on someone. He said he's going to send me an investor who wants, and he's like, if you close this deal, you'll give me 25% of your commission. And I said no, and I explained to him why, and it's illegal and all that. And he sent me the referral anyhow. So shows I'm good.
Just to go back to our customers, I would say it's our customer base. So being that we're around so long, years ago, the only advertisement that was available was the Yellow Pages, right? If somebody wanted a phone system, they would open up the Yellow Pages, look on the telephones. Okay, then the whole thing was, do I put it on the telephone parts, telephone equipment, telephone systems? So they got you and they got you to advertise in 3 different places. Okay. So we naturally built up a customer base that wasn't just Jewish. We have a lot of corporate accounts, Baruch Hashem. But again, I'll take anybody.
Any sale, any account.
Any sale, yeah.
Okay. So what do you think, I'm just asking your opinion, why do you think a typical business owner that opens up today has a hard time or struggles or can't figure out how to be profitable? You're doing this for so long, you built such a large business. What do you think? What do you see out of your own eyes?
I would say I was in that same place where I didn't understand the delegation, operations, all these things that are so normal now to talk about, and
it's integral to the business.
And you see, and you get, there's so much more information on that now than there was then. Then it was like just going in, do your work. There wasn't that part where you can just work from home or work after hours. It was really, it's like in your office, that's when you did the work. So I think now a lot of the struggles are just doing too much without a system. I'll give you an example. There was a write-up now in the Achdus. I don't know if I should say what it was about, but somebody was running a company, and the interviewer was asking them whether they see themselves expanding, nationwide or whatever, more than just local. And she was saying, this business is so niche and involves so many intricacies that there's no way we can scale. And I'm like, no, I don't think it's that complicated. It's like, okay, I don't know, their business, but from what they were describing, I think just get yourself a good coach or Raisy, hire Raisy. And you'll figure it out because it has so much potential.
There are certain businesses that are very boutique, but you're saying that's not the right.
No. It was definitely niche. It was a niche idea. But I really I don't see why it wouldn't be scalable. Yeah.
Right. I feel like if people can't figure it out themselves, they're like, oh, okay, done. I can't scale this. Like it's gonna have to.
You also don't, when you're starting a business and you don't know, from experience from other people, you don't appreciate how quick you burn out if you're doing everything. If you don't, I was actually part of a coaching program that was catering to solopreneurs. It wasn't my place, but it happened to be that a lot of people were solopreneurs, and they were still stressing delegation. Find yourself a VA. Find yourself, you cannot do everything. Even if the solopreneurs.
There's a ceiling, and a person only has a certain amount of capacity.
And how long could you keep going? Also, another thing, exit planning. I was talking to somebody by a show, and she has a huge business. This was like 5 years ago, and the theme of the whole convention was exit planning. A lot of what they're presenting, and she's like, "No, I'm set. I have an apartment in Israel, and I'm good. Like, I don't have to worry about it." And I was like, "No, because you're so big, this is something that you should be thinking about, and now is the time to think about it."
Yeah. Succession planning, when it's done well, can really make such a difference in everybody's life, in the company, the family. When people don't focus on it, it's irresponsible.
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. It's about, what are your goals? It talks about goals, like, where do you want to go? Are you going to sell? If you sell, what are you going to do?
And it impacts so many people. Like being
right.
You
have a team. It's not just you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that smile?
No, I'm thinking about what you're saying about how different the world is from when you first started your business, and how, even just in two examples that you just gave, about how much information there is out there about starting a business that wasn't there in the beginning. Right. And then also about how the boundaries between business and life has blurred so much from then to now. And I think it's interesting because in some ways it offers people an opportunity to start a business in a way that they couldn't necessarily back then.
Right.
The barrier to entry of the market is much lower. But on the other hand, it can be all-consuming without clear boundaries and without a clear vision, which sometimes in this day and age is hard to come by. So I think it's really interesting that it's an opportunity and it's there, but it needs to be done thoughtfully, which I think is what you're saying.
And I'm just going to go back. Even then, okay, there's always this thing about boundaries, right? Probably 2,000 years ago. When we got married, my husband, this business was already up and running. And my husband said, I shut the phones at 5 o'clock, it goes to an answering service. I will not be that person who, there wasn't even cell phones, but who checks it. 5 o'clock, my business closes. And anybody who needs support knows that. And then we had an answering service. So after, it went to a live answering service. And there were people back then who were on call the whole time, even without cell phones. There were no cell phones then. They had an answering service who called them, who paged them, or whatever. And I give them a lot of credit. It set
The tone.
the tone. Yeah. And it was over that. And you know what? I don't think I've ever lost a customer because my phone shut at 5. When it comes to support, there is a support outlet. I have an answering service. Somebody's always reachable, but I'm not at your beck and call 24/7.
Especially with it being a family business, you would not have been able to stay in the business without those boundaries. Like, I don't think you'd still be in business today.
Probably, yeah.
Because so you didn't lose a client, and you were able to sustain all these years with those boundaries.
Burnout would have come a lot quicker.
Yeah.
If it was 24/7 operation.
I see the clients that can't respect your boundaries, you don't want to work with to begin with.
That's true.
They're going to be a problem later down the line.
I heard, cute story. When cell phones came out, right, it was like $1 a minute. And I had one customer who called and was like chewing me down on the price and just kept hacking and hacking. And one conversation, he was on a cell phone. I said, you're spending $1 a minute on the phone to knock me down, what, $20, like $100, what? He gave me the job. At asking price.
Wow.
Good for you.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so to go back to what you were saying, now I feel there's so much more potential for burnout because everything is remote. You can log in and log out and do it all the time.
Smartphones.
Yeah. And the expectations are always from the customer end. They're always,
Always on,
why
always
aren't you
available.
answering my email at 11 o'clock at night?
Right.
Yeah.
It's fine. I remember my accountant at one point said the fax machine was the worst thing for him because at one point, if somebody had got a letter from the IRS, they had to mail it to him, and then he had 2-3 days grace before he had to respond. Then when the fax machine came out, it was like, I faxed you something. Did you see it? Now it's like, I WhatsApped you, I pinged you, I emailed you. Why didn't you answer me? So speaking to that, I don't know if this is right or not, but especially in our community, WhatsApp is a huge thing. And I feel like I have enough channels of communication in my business. You have a phone, you have an email to support. I don't want to be busy picking up, monitoring WhatsApp business. I guess it's business. I guess I see how you're running your business like that, but I have a message on it. I use it, my techs use it when they need to FaceTime and they need to, there's an application for it. And some people will say I'm wrong, but I don't think I have to be available on all channels.
I think this is very interesting because, we started talking about innovation and how important it is, but she's like, I'm not innovating everywhere and in every direction. And I think that's really interesting.
I think it's just part of the boundary.
I think it's a boundary. It's not a matter of innovation.
It's not a matter of innovation.
Yeah, but someone could say, so innovate, have another channel. And you're saying Adcon, like, yes, but up to a point. And I think that says a lot about your staying power. It's finding that balance.
Right.
So, you have any last thoughts you want to share? Just something about your personal growth, about your business, about being a woman business owner that you'd want to share with our audience that you think that they would.
So we didn't touch about this, but it was a big thing that's going on by me now, which is the next step in innovation is AI. Right. So we know that if we don't innovate, we're dead in the water again, because AI is integrating with that whole voice technology, with your business, with how you present to the world. So we're working feverishly on developing AI agents, like an AI receptionist, to be able to handle your call, to schedule your calls. I think everybody's first reaction is like, oh, I don't deal with a robot. But when you start seeing, first of all, how crazy human it sounds,
wow.
It's unbelievable. How much data it can spit back. You can have a whole product sales structure through the phone. Like somebody could call and say, I want to tell me about this product. What's the pricing like? Compare this and this product for me. So right now I have it on several clients where they're not comfortable yet implementing it from the get-go, but they have it on their after hours. Like, if you want to find out more, ask me more. Or like I have a real estate company also. Like you want to schedule a showing, it'll link into your phone system, into your CRM, and do the scheduling for you.
Wow.
So that's our next,
I did call a real estate agent once, and he had an AI assistant. to me, I find again in my business, like people do need to speak to humans. It's not like something that could be totally replaceable, but maybe as like a virtual assistant type of thing to schedule. I don't know. I just find that people really want that human touch, that communication. Communication is so important in my business. It's like sales. It's a service.
Right. But there are businesses. I'm thinking of one like promotional materials. Like I know anytime I've called about getting sweatshirts with logos or things like that, there's such a complex algorithm about how many pieces and how many colors. And I think to myself, like the amount of time that this woman is sitting on the phone with me, just telling me that it's going to be 79 cents for each pen. There's got to be a better way. And I feel like businesses like that, where there's such a complicated pricing structure, AI could really be helpful.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And it alleviates the load of the customer service reps.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win on both ends.
True.
So interesting.
Very interesting. Okay. Any last thoughts that
Hire CompuVoip.
Yes.
They're innovative. They'll tell you all the things that you're missing. And if you're scared of AI, they're not, and they'll bring it to your business.
Right, call our office. You'll hear her. We'll introduce you to Ava.
How does she introduce herself?
Hi, I'm Ava, an AI agent developed by CompuVoip.
Wow.
I've got a call and
Yes, absolutely. 718-230-9292.
Okay. Call the AI agent today. Let's see.
Thank you so much
Okay,
for meeting
thank
with
you for
us
being
today.
here. This was
Thank
really
you for having me.
fun.
It was really
Yes.
a pleasure.
I got to know you a little better from hearing all about your history. It's really interesting.
Okay.
Likewise, I'll have to hear more about you.
Take care.